Hey students, welcome to a new term. So for this first video, I just wanted to run through the syllabus as well as show you how the assignments are going to work on Pearson's myLab. So if we go to Canvas and go ahead and open up our course, 40B Summer 2024. It should, if you're on a computer, it'll go ahead and open you up to the home page. I'm going to go ahead and click on Pages, and this will get me to the home page. And that's where we'll find the syllabus. So let me go and open that up, and I'll go through it. My name is Trevor Johnson. Here's my email address, office number, and office phone number. I'm not going to be in the office very much over the summer, so the phone number is not going to be super helpful. But if you want to get a hold of me, use that email address or just message me through Canvas. Both of those are great ways to get a hold of me. My office hours are from 10 to 12, Monday and Thursday. And you could... I might be in the office some of those times, but just I've got a Zoom meeting that you can just join in order to attend office hours. So there's the meeting ID, or you can use that link to join those office hours. Okay, and just be aware, in fact, there's a little disclosure statement down here. The way I work with Zoom is I don't actually have the Zoom call open all the time. If you join the Zoom call, it will send me an email saying that you've joined. And so once I see that email, I'll go pull up my computer and activate the Zoom call. So you may be waiting just a little bit of time while I do that. So don't join the Zoom call, and when you see that I'm not on it right then, give up and say, he's not paying attention to the Zoom call. Just give me a little bit of time and I'll join. If I don't join within a few minutes, please send me an email so that I know that you're waiting. Okay, so that's how the Zoom works. Please use that as a resource, because I'm very happy to help with any questions you guys have as you're working on the homework. Business Calc, we go through the basics of calculus. So we focus on derivatives and integrals and how we use those in different business applications. There's your course prerequisites, required course materials. So much of this is on Canvas, so make sure you can access Canvas regularly. You might need a scientific calculator, although you can just use your phone calculator for a lot of this stuff. The only exception is the final exam. When you take the final exam, since that's a proctored exam, you will need a scientific calculator for that exam. Okay, internet access, of course. Textbook. The textbook's included with the course fee that you paid for this. And so you can just access that on MyPearson. I'll show you how to do that in just a little bit. Course breakdown, 25% will be homework, 55% will be your midterm projects. So there's 5 of those, and each of those is 11%. And then the cumulative final exam is 20%. So there's your grade breakdown. Homeworks, all of them are through Pearson's myLab, and that's what I'll show you in just a little bit. You can turn in a homework late. There's just a 50% penalty. The reason for that is because I want you to stay up to date. I want you to stay with everybody else so that you're not getting too far behind. The next big portion of your grade will be midterm projects. We'll have one of these at the end of every single chapter, which in our case, since we're doing this second block of the summer, will be every week. We'll have one of these every week. These projects will have 2 parts. One part that's going to be just making sure you understand the basic concepts that were covered in that chapter. And these ones might be a little bit more explanation heavy. Explain what you're doing, show your work, make sure you've got all of that there. And it might be more conceptual, right? Have some more conceptual questions along with it. And then the second part will be some sort of challenge problem. And this is where you might see an applied problem, or just something more challenging than what you saw on the homework. And to balance this, these projects are you can think of them as almost take-home exams, where it's open resource. You can use the book, you can use the videos, you can use other classmates, you can use me, you can ask me questions. All I do is I ask that if you do work with a classmate, that it's just up to one classmate. I don't want to create big groups, because if you make big groups, there's usually 2 or 3 people that can skate by and don't have to do anything. Because you can also work with other people, right? You can work with up to one classmate. When you turn these projects in, I do expect it to all be in your handwriting, and I expect to see very thorough work. I'm going to make sure and give you problems where it's very clear of what you should include, or it's going to be a long enough problem that there will be plenty of work involved, and I expect to see all that work. That's a big portion of these project grades, is making sure that, is me seeing the process that you take to actually solve it. Midterm projects give you a chance to showcase everything that you've learned, but we're changing this up from previous semesters where normally I just did midterm exams, but we're going to try this whole project thing. So the way projects are going to work is it's really like a take-home exam where I'm going to give you maybe 2 or 3 very challenging problems that relate to the concepts that we've talked about and that apply it to a certain real-world scenario. And then the final exam, it will be a traditional exam that will be taken through Pearson's myLab, so it's an online exam that you guys will take at the testing center at the end of the semester. Okay, the exam questions will look very similar to the homework questions, except you just won't be able to redo them like you will in the homework. We will have a final exam review assignment that you guys will do right before the final exam, so that will help prepare you for this exam. Okay, helpful resources information. The big idea here is please remember that if you struggle in this class, that's normal. It's not a sign that you're not qualified or you don't know how to do this and you should give up. Struggling in the class is normal. And if you struggle, all I'd ask is that you reach out, right? Don't just try and do it all by yourself. Reach out for help. If you're working on assignments, you can feel free to reach out to your fellow classmates. You can also go to the Math Tutoring Center for help. If you're struggling with any sort of learning disability or anything like that, feel free to reach out to the Disability and Accessibility Resource Center. If you're struggling with mental and emotional health, please reach out to Counseling and Mental Health Services. So there's lots of resources here at Utah Tech if you are struggling in this class or if you're struggling in any other way. And then, of course, important policies and procedures. These are pretty standard across your different syllabi that you've seen. Here's our course schedule. Since this is summer, we go fast. Okay, so you'll notice that we do a chapter a week, and each chapter consists of 6 to 8 assignments plus the chapter project. So you will need to devote a considerable amount of time to this class in order for us to get through all the material in 6 weeks. Okay. And notice finals, the last day of finals is the Friday of that 6th week. So it's not like you have, for the rest of these, you have till the Sunday night before the next week. But that's not the case for that last week of class. Yeah, we have to have everything done by that Friday. Okay, so let's show you what an assignment will look like on Pearson. So if I go to I can either go to the assignments page or the modules page. Okay. So if I go to the assignments page, let's go to the chapter 1.1. It'll always make you launch it in a new window. So that's always going to be the case because it needs to open up the Pearson website, the Pearson program, in order for me to get it. Okay, so here's the 1.1 homework. It's 17 different questions. Okay. So if I click on one of them, here's my question. Okay. All about limits, which we will, of course, talk about later. And here's what I wanted to show you here. So let's say I'm working through this, and man, I have no idea what they're talking about because the video didn't make any sense, and I am just very stuck. You'll notice down here in the left-hand corner, you'll see a couple different things. Help me solve this and view an example. Help me solve this, what it'll do is it'll pull up this new window that'll walk through the same problem that you were just looking at. And it'll help you solve it by just having you fill out the different things. Okay? But the problem with this is if you do this, it'll help you check your answer. It doesn't count as actually completing the problem because it's walking you through it step by step. So if I come out, it's not going to count as finishing the problem, and you'll notice it just gave me a new problem. So that's what Help Me Solve It'll do. It'll help you solve that problem, but it won't actually give you credit for it. And then it'll give you a new problem and to start over with. But theoretically, you'll know how to do it now. And your other option is View an Example. And View an Example, what this will do is it'll pop up a new example for you and walk you through it so that you can kind of see the process. And then going back, it'll keep the problem the same so that you don't have to restart if you've already got some work for that problem. So those are two resources you can use for working through if you're stuck on any of these homework problems. And then you'll notice that I also have this option of Get More Help. So you have an option of Ask My Instructor. That's hooked up through Canvas to where, or at least through my email, to where you can click on that, type in a little message, it'll show me which problem you're working on, and it'll send it to my email. This is also how you can access the textbook. I guess I have a pop-up blocker, but it'll bring up a pop-up of the textbook, and it'll already be in the specific section we're working on. So it'll go and open up the chapter 1.1 section of your textbook. Okay, and then some of them, I don't think all of them do, but some of them have a video walking through this specific concept. I haven't actually looked through those, so I'm not sure how useful those are. Okay. But those are some resources you have available as you go through the problem. But let's say I work through it and I say, oh, this is equal to 56 for sure. Oh yeah, equal to 56. Nope, it's wrong. Well, what's nice is that it actually gives you multiple attempts. So I can say, oh, you're right. No, it's actually 57. I think it's 57. Still wrong. So notice how it's giving me multiple attempts here. Oh, it's 457. That's what it is. And now it pops up this thing that's saying final check. Now, don't be stressed about that it's saying final check. Because it's not that because let's see what happens when I get this wrong. It's still wrong. It's going to give me the answer. It turns out the limit didn't actually exist. But I haven't missed out on getting credit for this problem. All I need to do is just press similar question, and I can still get credit for this problem. All it's done is just given me a new problem. So now I have a new problem. I can start over and can say, oh, you know what? You're right. The limit doesn't exist for this problem. And I got it right. And look, I get full credit for question 7, even though I tried it for a long time. So bottom line with homework is there's lots of resources, and there's no reason to not get 100% on your homework. Because if you get it wrong, you can just redo it until you get it right. And I would highly encourage you guys to do that. Get as high a score on your homework as possible, because you might struggle more on the project. That's not an option for the projects, and it's not an option for the final exam. Let me know if you have any questions, and good luck with the semester.